Hello and welcome back to Kentview Zoo. In this episode we are adding some big cats, the West African lion. Here I am just checking what they want so we can try and get some good ones to the animal market. Yes, I love lions. I think they're so cool. I've been on safari a few times and they're just the most incredible animals. I was lucky enough to see them hunting, and they're just so clever. So yeah, I really wanted to have them in. A zoo near me has a similar sort of layout in terms of where you start. It's right at the entrances. Right at the entrance, and there's a small little viewing gallery just next to it, alongside in the middle, like this. And I did have a little bit on the back here because I wanted to have a little sort of separate area, which I then got rid of the separate area later. But I kept the extension in just to give them a little bit more space, because after I built in their housing and things, there wasn't actually too much space for them, so I kept that. I kept the area, but I removed this little bit here. So I wanted to make a sort of almost like a fence thing, so like a shutter, as it were, so that obviously it's not going to happen, but role-playing wise, the keepers would get the animals, get the lions in the small little area, shut the fence, and then shut the trapdoor, as it were, and then come in and sort of sort out the rest of the animals, the rest of the enclosure. But the gap was too small for the lions to get through, so I just removed it in the end. And also the keepers wouldn't be able to get in, so had the lions made a mess, we'll say, in there, then yeah, the keepers wouldn't be able to get there. So yeah, so here I am making this little trapdoor, which I then delete later on. So yeah, but I like the idea of it, and I might do it in future for other animals, for some of the smaller animals, something like that, just to make it look a little bit different, and then have another access for keepers in the other in that small enclosure, so it'd still be one habitat, but one enclosure, sorry, but that, yeah. So yeah, here I was trying to put sounds on. I think it's just the electric conduit, just to make it sort of look like there was some sort of switch for the door, but I left it there, and then I came back to sort it out later on. So yeah, lions are, I think it was grade 3 height, 3 meters, so I just lifted it all up and climb proof. So yeah, I added that in. I then changed this out to add in a nice glass viewing panel. I really like this one as well, the sort of the strong glass. I think it looks really nice, especially with the sort of the pillars on the side. I now spend about 10 minutes trying to find a similar block to have across the top, because I'm not a huge fan of just the sort of the metal bar. I think that one, and then I just realised that's going to be too big. So yeah, I do end up spending a while trying to find the right piece, but I do get there eventually. And then yeah, I was just playing around with a few other ideas of what I could do for it, and I did think about that for a minute, but then I realised the gap probably wouldn't be right. And then yeah, I see some of this stuff. I never realised they've got so much stuff in the game, like the little trucks and stuff. It looks really cool, and carts, everything like that. So I will definitely be using those at some point. But yeah, not for the moment, but at some point they'll be in and about the place. I do want to have a little sort of greenhouse area here, just to make it look like that's where, so for like the herbivores and things. So it looks like that's where they get their food, that's where they grow all the food and stuff, rather than sort of buy it in. And yes, here is where I find the right piece. So yeah, it wasn't too long, but it took a while. And then I realised it's not quite lined up properly, so I played around with that a little bit just to get it sort of lining up essentially over the beam as possible, which I think I do manage to do quite well in the end. And then it's just changing the colour slightly to match the barrier wall. not the barrier, the barrier pillar, because I just think it looks a bit nicer. And I was looking to make some sort of self-made canopy, but I couldn't quite figure out the pieces that I wanted, so I will come back to that in the future. But I wasn't too sure what pieces I actually did and didn't want right there and then, so I left it to the moment. Just checking the levers to make sure they're happy, and the antices levers are very happy. There's lots of them now. And yeah, one of the lions did have an infection, but that was dealt with pretty quickly. So now that the lions are in, lots of lovely rain for them, so I just paused time, get rid of some of the long grass which they don't like, added a bit of water for them, and just played around with the terrain a bit to make them happy. Most of this video is spent on basically just building their shelter, really. Here it is, it's starting now, so turning around the rotation, putting them down roughly. I know obviously they're the same rocks, sorry, but I just think they look quite nice, and they're good size as well. So then I do just fill in some of the little gaps with the smaller ones, just to make it look a little bit less sort of unrealistic. I mean, it still looks pretty unrealistic, but it looks a little bit less. So I actually give them two sort of shelters. So there's this one here, and then I have one a bit lower down as well, with some rocks in between, sort of as pillars. Again, obviously this is in a zoo, it's made structurally, so it's not like it would you'd find this in the wild. Although I mean, you might find something similar, but yeah, nothing quite like this. So I fill that in and then build it down a little bit so that I can give them a little ramp to get up there, which I just think looks really cool. So I did have an idea for the Lion King, you know, having the rocks and stuff, but in the end I just thought I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do it, so I didn't do that in the end. So yeah, I was just playing that and then checking if they could get up, which they can, although there's a slight little jump they have to make, which is fine. And then I just raise these up because yeah, they can get on there, and not that it'd be a huge issue because they can't jump over the barrier, it's too high for them to jump down, but just you wouldn't really want to risk it. If it was a real zoo, you wouldn't want to risk a lion jumping out and A, hurting themselves, but B, being able to get out and eat your visitors. So I do that, and then here's where I realise they can't get in there, so I raise it up a little bit. Yeah, I didn't realise that I had so many pieces in that. I thought it was only 2 pieces, but yeah, that's fine. So then I'm just readjusting it to make it all the right height, which causes lots of issues because everything is slightly off, so I have to move it all. Add it all to the work zone so the keepers come in and hopefully get rid of those error notifications, which they do, thankfully. And then yeah, just adding in some enrichment, some bedding for them, some food, and we actually already have babies already. I've got it on ×3, and it's whizzing through, so we've already got babies in there, which I didn't realise until halfway through the episode. But yeah, so I just added some rocks here just to make it look a little bit sort of more natural and a bit nicer. So yeah, my lemurs are about to inbreed, so I tried to do that, but I didn't manage to stop them in time, so we're gonna have some dodgy babies in the future. But yeah, I was trying to figure out why they can't get up onto that top platform. I think it might be the ramp is too small, but I'm not sure because it's the same ramp that's on the other piece, I think. But yeah, I'm not too sure. So yeah, I just added in some food and water, and again some more enrichment, a couple of sprinklers because he doesn't have sprinklers, a ball and a scratching post, and then I get working on some greenery. So I put in a cluster of palm trees just over in the corner because I think it just looks nice, and it wouldn't be. When you think of lions in Africa, you think of the umbrella trees. So I thought, yeah, got to put a couple of those in. The elephant grass, I love it. I think it's so good. The only thing is I do go over the top here, and it means that the lions lose all of that space, so I do remove some in the end. And then I'm just checking out the other trees. I put these down by the rocks, so I feel like they look like they would be in a rocky sort of area. Whether they would or wouldn't be, I don't know. but they just look like they would be. And this is where I realised I haven't got enough space, so I just remove all of that to let them get in. And then I remove some more of the bushes over here because they now can no longer get up to their little bit above. Originally I thought it was the tree, but it's not. I lit the tree and it's still not, and then move that one, and they can get up, so it wasn't the tree, so I put the tree back. Remove some of this just so they can get to the scratching post. And add in a couple of these ones instead. I'm not actually sure what they are, but I just think they look really nice, especially next to the rocks. They do look quite good. Copy over some information. And I do bring the path round, and we'll update that eventually. Like update it properly in the future, so it's a little bit closer to the actual habitat. Yeah, moving the power just so that it covers everything in there. And that's it for the lions. So I now add in just a toilet block. Obviously we've not got any guests in at the moment because I've closed the zoo, but we will have guests soon. So I think it probably next episode we'll do another build and some food and drinks, and then when we've got all of that in, we will open up the zoo. So I have a little play around with the bricks. I think because it's right next to the bricks, I think that's what I wanted to have. And here I was just trying to figure out what the name of the building was. The roofing, sorry, it's just slate, but then obviously the curved bit is a bit of an issue, so I just go for a flat roof instead, which I do think looks quite nice. Look at the gutter because it looks like it's got like an inbuilt gutter, but I couldn't figure it out. I haven't sort of played with the gutters enough yet, so I'll leave that for the moment. Put some signs on it, and then yeah, add in the wood, sort of the wood at the bottom like we have on the other piece. Although that one won't go in at the right place, so I do just leave that one and cover it up with some bushes and some foliage in the future. Notice the horrible little gaps there which I can't get out, so I just put a log in it in the end. Yeah, here I am. Yeah, just putting the log in, and I also do the same for the main building as well. The entrance building, sorry. So I do that, and then this is where I'm at. I don't like that, so I add in a couple of trees and a bit overkill on the flowers, but I think they look really nice. And you wouldn't want to walk into a zoo, see the toilets, and just nothing there. So I think the flowers looks nice. I might in the future go back and change them so that it's like flower beds instead. But yeah, I started doing a little bunch, then I realised there's a bigger bunch, so I go in and put loads of those in. I think they're really nice. I can't remember what they're called off the top of my head. But yeah, they're really nice flowers. I really like them. They look quite cool. So yeah, I put those in a few different sizes to add a bit of variation with a random rotation on. Delete a couple of the trees just because it covers up the sign. Move the signs up. And yeah, that is it really. I've just moved those out a little bit, just so they're not poking through the wall too much. And yes, in a second I'll bring you over to the real time. And there we go, the final lions are done. I do quite like it. It's nothing too special, but it's nice and cozy for them. They've got lots of stuff to get on with. The barriers are battered already, which isn't good. They've got lots of stuff to get on with, some sprinklers. Not that they need them now because of the rain. But yeah, I like... So this climbing frame that they have in the game, I think is really nice. And I just added some rocks to it to make it look a little bit less plain, I guess. So I do like it, but I like how they can sort of climb up here, get up here, and sort of have a nice area to sunbathe in private. Sorry. And I also do like their cave. It's so they've got this main bit here, and then this little bit here, right underneath. So yeah, I really like it. I think it looks good. Although I will actually just quickly copy one of these and put it there, just so it looks a little bit nicer. I've closed this area here off, and what I will also do is just add another path in. control. Okay, it doesn't like that. But yeah, we'll have this path here. So we'll come around, we'll probably have some shops in here. So yeah, we'll probably put some shops or something in here. Tidy this up in the future, and then there. But yes, we have big cats, finally. Well, finally, this is episode, what, 1, 2, 3, 4. So not finally, but yeah. We also just tidied up the toilets a little bit, put some toilets in, not that we've got any guests, but I want to have everything nice and ready for when we do then have the guests. I left things running a little bit too long, so we've now got like 100 lemurs. Well, we've got 23 in total, so yeah, we've got quite a few lemurs, and we've already had some lion births, which is really nice. Let's see what they're like. Immunity's not great. They're alright. But yeah, the lions we got weren't perfect. But yes, there we go. So that'll be it. So this episode wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to happen, but I found a little bit of time to be able to get it done. So yeah, should be posted and uploaded on Sunday. But if not, then apologies, and it will come out as soon as it's ready. But yes, I quite like it. I like how the Lizzie's sort of coming. I know it's quite modular so far, but this is sort of just the main. You come in, see some lemurs, see some lions, see some anteaters, and you're like, okay, we've got our money's worth. And then they go off exploring, because the map is huge, and the aim will be to sort of cover most of the map eventually. So this is going to be a very long series, I'm hoping. But yes, anyway, thank you for watching. If you like the video, please drop a like. If you don't already, then maybe consider subscribing so you don't miss out on any future videos. But either way, I hope you enjoyed it, and until next time, bye bye.